In this lesson, we are going to talk about how to create your first listing. And by the end of this lesson, you should know how to go ahead and create your first listing. All right, now I'm going to show you how to create a listing from scratch. Under your shop manager, you go to listings and then click add a listing. And this is what it looks like for adding a listing from scratch. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to show you an actual listing I have. We are going to start with the photos. The title actually comes later on. Now, I don't care if you only have one color of one item. Fill up all 10 photos. We're going to try to use all different types of photos that we talked about for the photo types. This is in my supply category, so it's a little bit different. There's not necessarily lifestyle photo and such, but we are going to use all 10 photos and cover at least one of every type of photo that we need. And then you are going to have your primary photo be something that looks really good in a square. So I actually recommend not using square images or horizontal rectangular images on your photos. I recommend always doing a vertical rectangle. And this is because with Pinterest, it's going to be much better and it's going to get a lot more visibility and clicks. So as you can see, most of my photos are very similar. I did a grouping. I could have done a photo where it's up close. I tried to do a top angle so you can see all sides of the item, and then adjust the thumbnail to be like the best looking one that fits within the square. Now add your video. They say 5 to 15 seconds. This doesn't have sound, so don't worry about like talking or any background noise. I try to do like 9-second videos because I found that when you try to film a 5-second video on your phone, sometimes it ends up only being 4 seconds. So go a little bit longer than you need to. And this is what my video looks like. Really simple, right? Really easy. It's just in a light box, one of those light boxes from Amazon. I think mine was like $40. You can also crop your video if needed, but don't overthink this one. So now with the title, you have 140 characters to use. Use every one that you possibly can. As you can see, I left 6. And I probably could have added one more word in if I had spent a little bit more time thinking about it. In the lesson later on in this module about SEO, I talk about the title, but what you need to know is that they're only going to read the first few words. And so the first few words are what matters. This does not need to be grammatically correct at all. This is about using as many long tail keywords as possible, optimized for SEO. All right, so now we are going to work on the title. I am going to go through the title and show you why and how I did what I did. And I am even going to critique myself here because there are some places for improvement. So I want you to just follow along with what I'm doing. I'm calling out the size of the item, and this is what I want it to come up under when people search for this. Metallic rose gold rose. Because I know a lot of people search for metallic rose gold, and then I know that this is a rose gold rose. My mistake was that I included rose twice here. So now the reason that I'm okay with rose gold is because I want to make sure that I am having the search term rose after gold, just in case someone is looking for a gold rose instead of rose gold, because people looking for a gold rose might be interested in a metallic rose gold flower. So rose gold flower, so it captures rose gold flower, gold flower. It also captures flower metallic, just in case someone searches for that. And I have flower after metallic because what if they search for metallic flower? So I'm capturing flower metallic and metallic flower. Now, what if they want to type in flower and then it's an afterthought and they type in flower rose gold because they want it to be a rose gold flower? Then so I have flower rose gold. Here's another set: rose gold wedding decor rose. So that's not only color but the item. Decor rose gold cake flower, or rose gold cake flower rose gold. Those are all separate search terms people might look up. Flower rose gold centerpiece, and gold centerpiece flower. So as you can see, I've captured as many long tail keywords and they kind of overlap. So consider overlapping, using one word from one long tail keyword to start or be included in the next long tail keyword. So because I have 11 characters left, I'm going to add something else here. So I realize I'm missing flower wedding. I don't have that flower before wedding right next to each other in anything here yet. So I'm going to do flower wedding. Boom, it takes me almost to the limit. Do not have any plurals. I recommend no punctuation. I recommend no commas. I recommend keeping it all keywords because this is prime real estate. This is how people are going to find you, and you don't want to give up any opportunity. In case you're thinking, well, would customers be annoyed by that? I've sold over 25,000 items on Etsy, and I've never once had anyone complain about my titles. So if that gives you any reassurance, I don't think people will be upset by using a bunch of the keywords in your title as long as they are relative. No, I'm not doing something here like that's completely irrelevant, like gold wedding ring or wedding cake. Like, I'm not trying to mislead customers and having my item come up in a search result that is totally irrelevant. I'm trying to make sure that my item gets in front of customers who are actually wanting to see it. So then you fill out about this listing, if it's handmade, or have a partner who made it. If this is a supply, just like with vintage, you'd have another company or person. Categorize it correctly. So a supply or tool to make things, or a finished product. The year, if it's made to order, make sure you have that in made to order. Now the category, this is under artificial flowers. Now it might recommend a category for you, but I recommend making sure it fits under the right category. Now I could go under wedding flower, but I really want it to be in the supply category because I found that a lot of B2B customers come to me and they're looking for supplies. It tells you what categories it will also show up in, which is great. Craft type, it auto-selected this for me, floral arranging material. You can put this, but if you are not sure what the actual material is, I would not put anything because then you're locked in. I'll change this to fabric so people don't think it's like a plastic flower. Primary color, if you offer multiple colors, I recommend skipping this. I'll put rose gold. Secondary color, it's optional. Flower type, you can put rose. Occasion, I'm not going to put something here because I don't want to lock us into a certain section. Holiday, you could put something there if it's relevant. Automatic renewal, always do that, otherwise things will expire and then you'll wonder why you're not getting any sales. The item type, so this is where you click physical or digital. Your description, which I'm going to show you how to do soon. And then the section, this is where you create sections, okay? And I show you how to do that as well. It's all about site merchandising with sections. You can add sections later though, so no pressure to add them right now. And then tags. So I'm going to show you how to do tags if you didn't have any. So I'm deleting all of these. I'm going to copy and paste my title here. Now, because I don't have commas, it's going to be a little bit annoying, but I copy and paste it. I highlight it. Now it limits you to a number of characters. I've done this so many times that I kind of know where it will cut you off. So 3-inch metallic rose. I copied the last section over here. So I'm going to put inch. I'm going to copy this, delete, gold, rose, gold, gold, rose. It doesn't matter if the capitals are there. Don't worry, no one really looks at this. Now we want rose gold flower. So it's flower, gold flower metallic, flower metallic flower. The key here is that you're having word customers would search side by side. Rose gold wedding, and then metallic rose gold. So we had wedding before decor. Wedding decor rose. So I'm going to put that. And I'm really just copying and pasting so that I don't have to keep scrolling up. Decor rose gold. That would be good. Cake flower rose. I think I want centerpiece flower more than gold centerpiece. And then flower wedding. So now you're clicking materials. This is a place that you should add in materials if you know what they are. So the materials that you're citing in your description, also include them up here. It will cover you in case you ever have a case opened where the customer is saying like, I didn't realize that, this was fabric. I thought it was plastic. Or sometimes they'll say, I thought it was a real flower. And you'll say, no, it's artificial. Look in the materials. So that'll cover you. Price, because I have variations here, you price it within the variations. Quantity, if it's something you have unlimited supply to, just up it to like $9.99. That way you don't have to keep restocking it and adding additional quantity. SKU, this won't be relative to the supply category right here, not when you're starting out. Allow restock requests. I would change this to yes, so that shoppers can sign up to be alerted when it's back in stock. So now I am going to go into how to create variations. Now I think it should be a goal of yours to have every listing in your shop have some sort of option with variations. Imagine that there's nothing here and we're starting from scratch. Now with this type of item, I am doing the quantity variations because if I'm selling an item for $3.25 and they want to buy, let's say 5 of them, instead of on the page, let me show you here. So if on the product page, they were to just select quantity 20, I would be paying 20 different listing fees, that the 20 cent and the 25 cent transaction fee. So I would be paying all these fees on each quantity 1. But if they just keep it at quantity 1 and I offer quantity 20 as a dropdown, I'm only paying 1 listing fee, 1 transaction fee. So if you are selling multiple items of something that's a lower price point, or if you're selling, honestly, if you're selling more than just 2 items, it's really beneficial to get it set up with quantity options in your variations. So what we're going to do is you can only have 2 variations. So when you add a variation, it'll say like add variation. So you click that and you scroll to the bottom and click custom variation. You don't use the ones that they have. I recommend always customizing it because you can adjust the wording to be just what you want and just what makes sense to your customer, because we want to communicate like our customer thinks, like they talk, like they spell. So we are putting in quantity. If the prices vary for each quantity, make sure to click that. If you're doing color and the price doesn't really change based on color, then you don't have to click that. But I do recommend if you are offering different sizes or different quantities or anything that where you're offering different value within each option, check the prices option. Quantities. Now this is going to be important if you have inventory. The key here is that you're actually managing your inventory. So you actually know what you have. I don't click that so that it doesn't say that I'm running out of certain quantities. And SKUs, if you have a system right now where you're using SKUs, then go ahead and click that. But I'm going to guess that right now you probably do not. And you can add multiple variations, and I believe it limits you to 2 as of the filming of this video. And you can change prices for both sets. So I'm doing different sets of quantities and then the short stem and the long stem. And then you just click update. There we go. You are also able to link photos. This is super, super important to know this. Link photos to each variation. This is very important to do if you are using color variations or if there are different patterns or prints. So what you do here is you choose the variation type, quantity. So let's say I had a picture of just 1 rose. Then I would click the 1 rose. and then the 5 roses, I would click the picture of the 5 and so forth, and then save. So this is going to be really key because then when the customer checks out, the main photo of the item in their checkout and in their receipt from Etsy is the exact photo linked to the variation they purchased. So this is key because then they can't come back to you and let's say your main listing photo was of a pink blanket and then they selected blue, but the pink blanket was still showing because you didn't link the photo of the blue one to the blue color variation. Then they may think, I thought I was purchasing the blue one, but the pink one showed up. I'm really confused. Or if they think they got the wrong one, it covers you. So if you do have color variations, make sure to link photos there. And if you ever run out of a certain variation, you don't need to delete it or put 0. If you have the quantities option selected, you don't need to delete it or click 0. You can literally just make it invisible and then make it visible again when you have it back in stock. Super easy. Along with variations, if you are offering any sort of customization, whether that be adding a name or wording or you want them to describe a color scheme or something, you can use personalization in conjunction with your variations. So let's just pretend it was a sweatshirt and we were putting a name on it. They give you an idea here of what to write. This is great. Max 12 characters, no spaces, no special characters. Write the name you'd like on the sweatshirt, 12 character maximum, no special characters or punctuation. Now the key here that you'll see is that there's a lot of characters and you can put a lot of instructions in here. Something that I've also seen other shops do is use this as a place for the customer to prove that they understand what they're buying, because you can make personalization optional where they don't have to write in here, or you can make it necessary. So in that circumstance, I've seen other shops say yes if you acknowledge that this is a digital download and not a physical product. So you might want to say write yes. That could be something where they have to just write yes to prove that they understood that it was a digital download and not a physical product. I've seen a lot of shops do that in the digital space, and that tells me they've had problems before with customers who thought they were going to be shipped a physical product. So use this to your advantage, right? Like Etsy, it's not your own website. You can't do all the site merchandising and all the customization to your shop that you want, but use the features they give you. So personalization is a place that you can use in different ways in order to get information and communicate and set expectations to avoid customer issues later on. So now here you are going to select your shipping options. And if you created your shipping profiles, this is where they will all be showing up. You can create your shipping profiles later on and then add the products and the listings to the profile later on. But I do recommend at least starting with one shipping profile so that when you're creating your listings, you can select that. So with that, you can actually edit the shipping profile within the listing. The point is, so silk flower when baby comes. I had a baby a year ago, so this was the reminder that I had to click on this shipping profile when I was heading to the hospital. So anyways, processing time, you can adjust that here. You want your zip code in, you select your shipping services. Now, please note, these advanced shipping services are not going to be selected and they're actually going to be hidden. So when you create a listing, it's going to look like this. And it is going to automatically, if your item is over a pound, over 16 ounces, and you are shipping it, it's a physical product, they are going to default to priority mail. So if you offer free shipping, that means that you are committing to ship priority. I also found that even if you're not offering free shipping, it's not going to give them any other options outside of priority for domestic shipping. So click this advanced shipping options, click ground. Okay, this is going to be the key in saving you so much on shipping because now the default is ground. The default is going to be the cheapest option for that size and weight. So they're going to see when they check out that they get free shipping for 2 to 8 days. It's actually up to 9 days for delivery. They will also see that they could pay, it's going to be like $12 or something, depending on the size and the weight, but for 1 to 3 days. So oftentimes they will upgrade to this without you even having to give them like a priority shipping add-on fee. They will see this option in the checkout and they'll see that it's a paid option. It's not free and it's not included, but when comparing it to the 2 to 8 days, this looks pretty nice and it's going to be like under 20 bucks. That is something to make sure that you do if you're shipping physical products. Now, in my section that I go over and teach you about shipping, I do talk about how to get around insurance things in terms of parcel select ground does not include that $100 of insurance, but Etsy does partner with ShipSurance, and I show you all about that. So don't worry if you know, what if my item breaks? I'm not going to be covered because there's a way around that if you still want to use ground for shipping. So if you have your shop set to that free shipping over $35, then you do not need to click anything here. I recommend not ever doing free international shipping because it can be a huge issue. And if you ever have an item returned to you, the customer might fight you and say, well, it was free shipping here. Why should I pay for shipping now? It just could be a headache. So I recommend, unless it's an item that is under $35 where you want free shipping, even if they don't hit the threshold of $35, you don't need to select that. Handling fee, if you have an item that is really large, maybe it's like freight and it's something where it is, like furniture or something, you might want to have a handling fee on there, especially for international shipments. That could be something when you are taking more than 20 minutes to package something, you might want to have a handling fee on there. It's also a way to kind of increase and inflate your pricing, but not have it showing up on the product page so that you're able to look more competitive in the search results, but then this handling fee is added in. If you've also noticed that your shipping prices have a surcharge during a holiday season, maybe like 20-30%, you can always add this in for the holiday season and you can save it to the profile. So it's really easy. For example, you'll see here, this has 133 listings in this shipping profile. I can update this and it will save it for all 133 listings. It does not take much time to do that type of update. All right, the next section of the listing is the tariff number. This is something that oftentimes they will recommend for you. Sometimes they will kind of have a pre-fill or autofill type of suggestion, but if they don't, then you can look it up on Google. Just Google tariff number code sweatshirt or tariff number code beads. Like just look up the tariff number code for whatever type of item. Pretty simple. They're not super particular about this. This is not going to prevent an item from shipping or make it have an issue. It's really not a big deal. Then you're going to put in your item weight, always round it up, the size when packaged, so the outer dimensions of your packaging. And then this is a great way to check, like, okay, does this seem my item is still a competitive price once shipping is added in? So you can check out different areas and see what the shipping price is and then the total price. So that's kind of nice. Also, if you're curious about how you will be competitive for international shipments. And then at the very, very bottom, it says marketing. They kind of sneak this in. Do you want to promote this and advertise it? I always say maybe later. You do not want to start clicking yes, advertise here, because sometimes it can slip away from you and you can forget that it's turned on, and you don't want that to happen because the way that Etsy ads work, it's really not the most efficient use of your money and your spend. They do not let you choose your spend per click, which is kind of crazy, and they can spend like $1 per click if they wanted to, and you don't have a choice in that. I do not recommend turning on marketing when you first create a listing. I recommend doing it through the marketing drop-down menu on your shop manager, not within the listing itself. All right, and then you hit publish.